Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of the Woke Bros. Of course, I'm your co-host, Big Wos, aka Wazi Lambre, and joining us straight from Michoacan, Mexico, my brother, my partner, Fernando Vila.
Yeah, I'm here in the birthplace of Rafa Marquez, the Mexican legend.
Wow.
The Kaiser of Michoacan. That's where I am.
Who's Rafa Marquez? Who's that?
Rafa Marquez is probably the greatest, if not the one of two greatest Mexican soccer players of all time. He played for Barcelona for many years.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's from Michoacan.
He's from Michoacan.
Yeah, wow, that's fire. Super fire. Yeah. Anyway, on today's show, we're going to get into, it's Marty week over here. Obviously, you guys know that the champion, the godfather, the patron saint of cinema, Martin Scorsese, just dropped his new movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, via Apple, but it's in theaters right now. Gonna go see that tomorrow. But we just wanted to talk about Marty. Nando saw the movie, this, that, and the third. The Republicans have nominated a speaker. We'll get into that. But first, of course, we gotta big it up to the UAW, man. They reached an agreement, a tentative agreement with Ford. They still got to figure it out with Chrysler and GM, but Ford is locked in. Some of the details of the move is they got 25% raises for their top end workers, pushing them above $40 an hour. They got raises at 68% for the bottom workers. They got rid of the tier system, so there are no tiered workers anymore. Everybody's in line to get to their top pay. Everybody's in the union. It's beautiful. Secure bonuses for retirees and pensioners. Just incredible stuff. Cost of living adjustments. They've secured stuff that they had to give back. They've clawed that back. And just an amazing win for the union and those workers. Again, we say this all the time, Nando. Some of the only good news out there. Go turn on your CNN. Go open up your New York Times app. You go try to find it. It's not out there for us as far as normal everyday people are concerned.
It's the top story on Jacobin right now.
Of course it is. Shouts to our family over there at Jacobin. But yeah, man, this is just incredible, bro.
Yeah, I mean, just to put into context, again, we've talked about the new leadership at the Teamsters and at the UAW, this kind of more aggressive militant leadership. I mean, just to put this in stark contrast to what the previous union leadership was at the UAW. The union leadership now, led by Sean Fain, is saying that the new agreement with Ford amounts to a 30% raise for workers. To put that into context, from 2001 to 2022, so over 20 years, they only got 23% raise. In that 20 plus year span, their wages only increased 23%. And with this strike and this deal, they've gotten their wages up 30%. So it just goes to show, like, worker militancy, solidarity, organization, all that good stuff fucking delivers the goods, man. It delivers the fucking goods. And what I thought was interesting, again, this guy, Sean Fain, the new leader of the UAW, is being very creative in the way he is calling on these kind of little strikes here and there, like strategically placed at different plants. Like he didn't call like a kind of mass general strike across the three companies. He's kind of identifying pain points and hitting them at strategic times. So right now, for example, now that they reached a tentative agreement with Ford, he's talking about sending those workers back to work even before they ratify the contract, because he knows it'll put a ton of pressure on GM.
That's the point. That's the part.
Because
Ford's
fucking, cranking away.
Ford is cranking out cars, cranking out Broncos, cranking out Fusions, Mustangs all day, every single day, while GM and Chrysler abides by this strike and they fall behind, thereby losing more and more money every single day by not coming to the table with a real fucking deal for the people. So this is just fire, man. There's no two ways about it. Again, worker militancy is what achieved this. It wasn't Joe Byron. It wasn't Donald Trump. It wasn't Gavin Newsom. It wasn't.
Wait, is Joe Byron a new nickname that I don't know about?
I've been calling him Joe Byron for a minute. I forgot. Somebody called him Joe Byron way back. It might have been Tracy Morgan, who was on my flight to LA from New York, by the way.
Fuck yeah, one of the funniest dudes of all time.
Bro, you know those big ass golf carts that they basically move people through the airport with?
Yeah, he was on one of those.
He was on one of those, right, with his like entourage, like his team, not like a real entourage, like his fucking corporate entourage.
Yeah.
And he had one of those like portable Bose speakers, and he was playing Murder, She Wrote, Murder, He was playing that when he pulled up to the gate. I swear to God. It was an incredible scene. And people got up to go take pictures, say what up to him. He was just loving it. Fucking New York City legend, Tracy Morgan. I love that guy. But yeah, this was just a dope win. And again, I love the snowball effect of the fact that, bruh, people are buying cars, man. And if Chrysler just doesn't have cars to give, they're going to go across the street. Yeah. If GM doesn't have cars to provide, they're going to go across the street and go to the next best option. And so, man, this is just amazing. I'm sure these other contracts are going to come in slowly but surely. But yeah, there's really nothing else to say about it, Nando.
Yeah, no, it really is. Just again, it's politics. That's what it really is. It's the only way to deliver the goods for working people is through organized labor.
Organization.
Yeah.
Organize the people. Moving on to the GOP elected a speaker. Never heard of this guy.
Never heard of him.
No idea how he was able to corral the votes. I'm sure he had to sell his soul to the devil, just like his predecessor did. Do we have confirmation on if he has them same crazy rules placed on him where anybody can recall his ass?
I have no idea, dude.
We don't even know.
But all I know is that he seems to be like a religious psycho, that he hosts like a Bible podcast with his wife. Which we should do. We should do an episode swap with them, Woke Bros. See if they'll do feed swap.
Shouts to him and his wife and the Bible, but yeah, they got that done. I don't expect much to change on the GOP side. It's not like this guy's going to lead some sweeping leadership. He's not going to be some, he's not going to whip up a bunch of votes to pass a bunch of legislation. We know that's not the point of this entire exercise. Is not to get stuff working for people in America, right? It's not to listen to the problems of the constituents. It's not to do any of that. You can expect more of the same to be going on with these jokers. And so, yeah, we got nothing. I got nothing for it with this homie. I barely know his name. And so, yeah.
That's the kind of analysis you people come to.
I know. We should have some more. But, this guy essentially he's not somebody who has been in leaderships in different forms in the party and, certain committees and been super influential or, he's just not. It's not the case.
It's a guy. He's like, you forget, like, Congress is not like the Senate. There's just a bunch of random ass fucking jokers in there. Bro.
So many randos. Yeah. And so, yeah, we got nothing for that. But I saw online that you posted your personal Marty list.
Yeah.
Which I took a gander as. I was proud that you had Wolf of Wall Street third because
yeah, man.
Oh my God.
Wolf of Wall Street.
I think that's probably my personal favorite Marty flick.
I would have begrudged anyone putting that up there. That's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's my personal favorite.
Marty is my personal favorite. Leo, again, two of my favorites. And they're both respected fields. But yeah, we'll get into the list, but just no spoilers because I haven't seen the movie. What can you tell people who haven't seen the movie and want to be excited about seeing Marty's latest movie? You're muted, Nando.
1 second. I lost my AirPods kind of disconnected. 1 second. I don't know what happened here.
Maybe it's dead.
No. I would have heard the little noise. Okay, I'm back. All right. Sorry about that, Jerv. Talk, Wos, 1 second.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just answer the question.
Yeah.
Jerv, just cut into it. The movie is incredible. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. It's not as fun as some of the other Martys. Wolf of Wall Street is important and an indictment of America, but it's fucking fun.
Yeah,
The Irishman
so much fun.
is like sad and like this meditation on death and regret, but it's got some moments in there that are fun. You know, like there's you know a lot of good humor in there. I mean, Goodfellas is a fucking blast. I mean, there's
Goodfellas is the most fun movie in the history of movies.
Yeah.
That's what its claim to fame is. Like from the moment go, this movie
like,
is running.
Yeah. Killers of the Flower Moon, while it has some funny parts, like it has that Marty humor, he always has a sense of humor.
He's got a great sense of humor.
Is not a fun movie. It is not fun. It is a just sledgehammer to the face over and over and over again. It is unpleasant in many ways, and it's kind of the point, you know, because I don't know if you know the premise or anything about it, because it's based on a true story.
Yeah, just this idea that these indigenous homies came into some riches, some resources, and the white man came to take it from them.
Yes, basically.
That's the story.
And it is really like, I think Marty felt when he's talking about the mafia or, you know, the destruction of organized labor, which is what The Irishman's about, or where he's talking about Wall Street, you know, these kind of like major indictments of the kind of institutions of America that undergird our entire system. He feels very confident, and that's why I think he feels like he can have a lot more fun with it. When it comes about the genocide of Native Americans that was perpetrated and the kind of just stealing of everything, you know, they had and their land, and then even when they got a little money just through some fluke of history, they had to steal that too. He shows like so much more restraint than he does in his other movies, and he doesn't do any kind of tricks. He doesn't do any of the Marty kind of like
the camera tricks. He's not giving you the flash.
There's a little bit. There's a few scenes you can see with the camera running around the house.
Did you read the interview in GQ? Shouts to my man Zach Barron. That's my boy.
Dude,
right
that
there.
is the best celebrity profile I think I've ever read.
Bruh.
That's like up there with Frank Sinatra Has a Cold. You know, the most famous.
It was so beautiful in the sense of a guy coming to terms with his life.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like
I almost started crying. Like I was
same, bro. Marty's like, yo, I'm gonna die. I'm like, yo, fuck.
When he was talking about going to LA, he's like, all my friends there are gone. The only person I can really hang out there is Leo. There with is Leo, and all my other friends are just gone, and you know most of my friends are gone, and I'm just kind of here making $300 million movies for Apple.
So I thought that GQ profile was beautiful. No, the reason why I brought that up, because again, Zach he fucking knocked that out the park. Go read that Zach Barron GQ profile of Martin Scorsese. But there was a part where he was just like, you know, certain times I get tired of seeing people rip me off. It's like at a certain point, like it's not even flattery anymore. It's like you didn't even innovate on it. Like you didn't have any. You just straight ripped me off. Like to hear an 82-year-old, however old Marty is, man, talk about people ripping off his style still. I was like, this guy is, he is the GOAT, dude.
Dude, he's like one of our greatest Americans. Like he's really just one of the greatest Americans. I mean, and you hear him speak, and he's got so much wisdom and so much life within him, and just this, you know, it feels like he's above kind of the bullshit stuff that we're arguing about all day. Like he's kind of above it. And with Killers of the Flower Moon, he really just kind of, it really does feel like an old master trying out something new and totally delivering on it. So confident in his abilities, you can just tell. There's a thing, the end of the movie, which I will not spoil, but the end of the movie will remind you of that GQ profile and is one of the most audacious, strange, and creative decisions I've seen anyone do in any movie. Like I can't describe just how off the fucking wall it is. Like his choice was that how he was going to end that fucking movie.
Wow.
You know, like it's completely out of left field. You're like, what is going on? It feels like you just got transported to a different movie, but it totally works and it totally makes sense.
again, like when I put my ranking of Marty Scorsese movies, which we can link to my Letterboxd.
Yes, we have to.
Marty
do that.
joined Letterboxd today.
I just saw
Marty
that on.
Scorsese's
I just saw that on my
Letterboxd.
Instagram because he's the fucking best.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's a film bro.
Dude, he's a total film bro. He made a list of all the films that inspired Killers of the Flower Moon, and it's like 50 movies from the 50s and 60s that I'd never heard of in my life.
Of course.
And so the reason why, I mean, you know, it's not a fun movie. Like, again, like I was rewatching a little bit of Irishman on the plane just because, you know, I was thinking about Scorsese in his late period, and The Irishman's fun, man. It's fun. You know, my personal number one, and this is like a personal thing. Like, I'm not saying it's the most.
Your personal number one is Mean Streets. Why is that?
Dude, have you seen Mean Streets?
I have. I didn't get it. I didn't.
You didn't get it?
I didn't get it when I watched it the first time. I was like, this.
I would watch it again. I mean, Mean Streets came out in 1973, which is 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Literally 5-0. He fucking made Mean Streets, and he's making the Killers of the Flower Moon this year. Mean Streets to me feels like such a leap forward in terms of how movies were made, in terms of just how the speed, the pacing, the flash, the pizzazz, the music, the needle drops, you know, like, like it just feels like a great leap forward. And it feels like Scorsese being like, you see all the tricks he has, like you see Goodfellas, you see all the stuff he had. He was like a 26-year-old kid, you know, coming out of nowhere and making this fucking awesome movie with Robert De Niro, who is completely unknown, just blowing everyone off the screen. Like there's one improvised scene with De Niro where he's talking to Harvey Keitel that he improv basically the whole thing, and it's so fucking electric, you know, like that is the way I describe that movie. It's just like it's a young person totally finding himself and just making electricity. I don't know, that movie, when I watch it, it's almost like comfort food. Like it feels so alive to me. He's made like bigger movies, he's made more important movies, more serious movies. This was just a movie about him. He was making a movie about his friends and the people he grew up with. And it also has, I always love that subgenre of movie, like Dazed and Confused, Richard Linklater. Kicking and Screaming, the Noah Baumbach. Like the young people make a movie about like their friends growing up. And so
even Superbad to a certain extent. It borrows from this.
Totally, 100%. And so those movies about like a group of friends or a group of people who are young people from the same milieu, and they have their idiosyncrasies and their linguistic tics and their little social hierarchies and things like that. I always love those movies. Like that's a little subgenre of movies, one that I love, and Mean Streets is like the number one of those movies. But anyway, I just think like it's Killers of the Flower Moon is nowhere near as fun as those, and it's not meant to be. I mean, it is it is a dark.
It's more in like Silence isn't fun either. Like,
no, Silence isn't fun, but Silence is more, you know, ethereal and spiritual.
Marty's God stuff is, you know, because it's ill because like as a lapsed Catholic, I've never looked back.
Yeah.
Whereas like Marty is somebody who's constantly like re-examining his position on his faith.
Yeah.
So it's like he's just like so tormented by his love of Jesus or his previous love of Jesus.
Or his or just like the way they beat it into him when he was a kid. I mean, that's like that's what he really struggles with. It's like, am I like this because they beat it into me when I was a kid?
Or is this a thing that I actually am connected to organically? It's interesting. But Wolf is my favorite because I remember at the time, obviously Goodfellas, whatever, all that other shit, we love it. But Wolf spoke to me because I remember at the time coming out of that movie, I saw it 3 times in the movie theater. I saw it because my girlfriend at the time, it came out during the holiday. She was visiting her family and I saw it twice. And when she came back, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll see it again. Right. And I remember just, I don't think I've ever laughed that much, that loud, that hard in a movie theater before or probably since. I was screaming in that movie theater. People like there were certain people that thought I was like losing my mind. I was just crying, laughing from that movie. And then I just remember the critics being like, oh, he's making Greed look cool. I'm like,
That was, you know what that was? That was when he made that movie. That was like the beginning of wokeness, really kind of seeping into cultural criticism, like in a real way, And it was like everyone was trying to be, write like a grad school essay about, whatever the fuck movie, and they completely missed the fucking point of the movie.
It's insane. The point, like, first of all, the reason why people pursue, like, it's so funny because it's like, we just personalize every single analysis, right? This idea that, this morally upright person he would never become a Jordan Belfort person. Nobody with any scruples could ever do that. And the point of the movie is like, this shit is attractive. This way of being, this lifestyle is attractive. This is why people pursue it. And some of the worst behaviors are rewarded in this lifestyle. So what does it say about the system, the culture that produces it?
The final scene in Wolf of Wall Street. The final scene is in Wolf of Wall Street is Jordan Belfort out of jail, doing one of those bullshit seminars about business and salesmanship and self-help and whatever. And you see the crowd and it's a bunch of pathetic losers. And then the camera flips and you are in the crowd, you, the viewer, are in the crowd, and Jordan Belfort looks at you and he goes, "Sell me this pen." Like, we're the fucking suckers. We American viewers are the suckers who rehabilitate and allow the Jordan Belforts of the world 100%. To get away with murder. 100%. Like, that is the point of the fucking movie. Like, if you didn't get that, then you're an idiot. Basically.
And again, like, because people are going to sit on their couches, especially the moralizers, are going to be like, well, you can't depict working on Wall Street and sniffing cocaine out of a stripper's ass as fun. Bitch, it's fun.
Yeah. Doing drugs is fun.
It's fun. That's
not
why
good
people
for you.
do it. It's fun.
not good for you.
It's not good for your soul. It's not good for your long term. But while you're doing it, it's fun. That's how people get seduced by it. And I don't know, Marty. I love Marty just because of his fucking humanity, bro. Like, he understands that people
that's what he is.
Aren't just like the words that you put on a piece of paper or a number or just things that you might imagine that you'd like to be like. People are more than that. People are three-dimensional, and like his films are always that way. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I can't wait to see this movie.
And going back through his filmography to rank them, at least the ones I have, like, I'm missing like 2 or 3 that I haven't seen of his smaller movies. I've seen all the major ones. And you go through his filmography, and he gets kind of pegged as he does gangster movies over and over again, and it's like just incredibly not true when you look at his actual movies. Like, The Age of Innocence, like, what the fuck? Like, do you know anything? that is the opposite of gangster movie.
I watched King of Comedy for the first time last week.
King of Comedy is fucking awesome, dude.
Excellent.
You see how the Joker just ripped it off. I mean, the Joker just ripped off the King of Comedy, and then they cast Robert De Niro as a stand-up comedian in the movie. Like, they're just basically telling you, I'm remaking the King of Comedy is basically what I'm doing with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. But yeah, the King of Comedy is incredible. His 80s movies, which were seen as kind of duds at the time, outside of Raging Bull, which was 1980, he was like right at the beginning. This is another interesting conversation. Has Martin Scorsese, this was in the GQ profile, has he made the best movie of every decade, of the last 5 decades?
I'd be willing to entertain it.
Yeah, is Taxi Driver the best movie of the 70s? Is Raging Bull the best movie of the 80s? Is Goodfellas the best movie of the 90s?
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes.
Wolf of Wall Street, the best movie of the 2010s. But his 80s movies, King of Comedy, After Hours, even The Color of Money, which was a nice hit and stuff, but it wasn't seen as like an important movie. Like, I love those movies. Those movies are fucking fun as hell.
Fire.
And they're so weird and different from his standard kind of like what he's known for is his gangster movies. And I don't know, man. He's just an incredible artist and an incredible American, really, like an incredible human. Like, he understands America, he sees America, and he critiques America, and he does it both artistically in an interesting way and also in a kind of mass appeal way that is incredible. I mean, Killers of the Flower Moon, not a nice movie. That movie is making good money.
It's gonna make some money because people understand it's important. Marty's making it. It's important. And And the thing is, like, a more cynical person could read that GQ article and Marty being like, "Yo, I'm about to die. You need to see this." but I'm about to die. You need to see this, though. At the same time, I agree with that. Like, for real, bro. Like, everything this guy's doing, and of course, obviously, his critique of the Marvel industrial complex.
I love
right
it.
up my fucking alley.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
From his lips to God's ears, man.
Oh
it looks like it's
God.
ending. It looks like the Marvel reign is ending,
Bro.
and my God.
It's so pathetic, their output now. Like, even their biggest fans are like, this shit sucks. Yeah. Anyway, go out and see the movie. We'll see you guys next week. Shouts to producer John Gervais. Shouts to my man Tony Mays on the check-in today. Peace out, y'all.